And welcome to Dalmantic Park for Cockburn City's Round 11 NPL clash with Bayswater City. The Cockerels currently sitting in 8th place on the league table, while Bayswater themselves are in 6th. Both sides finished in the top 4 last season, but have experienced underwhelming starts to 2019 and are struggling to keep pace with the early frontrunners Perth SC and Inglewood United. And we're off here at Dalmantic Park with Danny Robertson on the ball. And Bayswater in their change kit, the luminous yellow. Cockburn in their home kit, the usual blue. Despite this being their first league match of the season, Bayswater and Cockburn recently played each other only 2 weeks ago in the FFA Cup. And Bayswater defeated Cockburn 3-2. Cockburn went out to a 2-0 lead, courtesy of Daniel Robertson and Hayden Stevens, but just as Cockburn are on the attack here, and a goal kick is given, they were pegged back, unfortunately, and Bayswater ended up winning that one 3-2, and they secured a spot in the next round. Cockburn will be looking to avenge that defeat and go level on points with Bayswater if they win here, but a win for Bayswater will bolster Chris Coyne's hopes of a top 4 berth. And I'm here with Sean Fry, and Sean Fry, once again a magnificent day for football here in WA.
Yeah, I don't know what we've done to get so lucky with the weather here in Perth, Louis, but every week it seems to just get better and better. As you mentioned, both these teams looking for a top 4, probably would have been looking for that at the start of the season and haven't really had the start they've wanted, but they'll be looking to really push on here. This was the first ground I actually got down to an NPL game this season when we saw that late drama, Cockburn and ECU, and Cockburn scoring late on to equalise, and really started my love affair with the NPL this season. From then on, we went up and watched ECU have the same fate against Perth Glory the week after, and since then we've had 10 minutes of stoppage time in 2 games. We've had veteran goalkeepers getting sent off. We've had it all. It's been a great season, and hopefully it continues here today.
Yeah, late drama is usually on the cards with a team like Cockburn. We saw it with ECU here. We saw it Inglewood. They drew 4-4 as well. And yeah, I'm sure us in the gantry will be hoping for more of that. Scott Miller, the Cockburn coach, will probably not be hoping for some heart and mouths moment, but they had a spirited performance against Perth in their last home game, drawing 1-1, and Daniel Robertson was on the score sheet again. And for Cockburn, he's been one of the real bright sparks, currently on 7 league goals. He scored against Bayswater in the Cup, and he's in rip-roaring form and will no doubt looking to get on the score sheet again as Bayswater push forward. Here's Adam Harris, who's just been dispossessed, and Hassani Sinclair breaks clear. Sinclair elects to shoot and doesn't really test Spencer in the Bayswater net.
We had Ryan Pratt in a lot of space on this near side and just didn't get his head up and pick out the right option there. They want a bit better from him going forward.
Switch to the gold medal winner, Dale Nicol. From ECU Joondalup, goes to his former Joondalup partner, Gordon Smith, who turns well. Plays the ball out wide as Bayswater look to attack. And a goal kick is being given. But some good signs, especially from the former ECU boys there, combining to good effect. Here's Santic, who just looks for Sinclair, but can't get on the same wavelength. A bit of a bouncy pass back there for Spence. And Harris just looks to calm things down for Bayswater. Harris again coming into the team this week. They've had a few changes. A long ball up to Smith. And great composure there, Julian Tellez with a bit of class. Bit of head tennis in the middle of the park as the assured Ruben Tristow takes over, and he's wearing the captain's armband today after Cameron Edwards limped off in the first half last week for Cockburn.
And keep an eye out for number 14 in the middle there as well for Bayswater. Sean McManus, we saw him playing for Stirling earlier this season. Had a great game against the Glory youth team. He looks to be playing in the hole there. He's spending a lot of energy nipping back and forth. Hasn't managed to get on the ball yet, but they'll look to use his pace and creativity when they can.
Here's Hargreaves playing back to Spence. Ball out wide for Nickel. Santic heads it into the ground and just gets rid. And that's an excellent turn there. Out of trouble. Once again, Bayswater just looking to put their foot on the gas here, and that's McManus there. Clever pass. Back to McManus, takes a step out to his left. Bit of trickery, puts a ball in. Bayswater with an effort, and it's deflected. And Radnich, I think, is given away a corner, just couldn't quite get there.
And then we saw Sean McManus a couple of times using his creativity to get the ball down the line and then get a cross in right on cue, making me look good.
I think he's been down to the Barbers recently as well. I remember when last time we watched Bayswater play, Giordano Colli had a fresh blonde cut, and he's another player with one as Nickel swings one in. Radnich clears well. Ball back out to Nickel. 1-on-1 with Santic, gets on his right foot. And here's McManus. Oh, agonisingly close. And that would have been an excellent start to his Bayswater stint.
I love the composure from Declan Hargreaves there as well. Looked like he was shaping up to just whack one from 25 yards, but was composed and got a good chance out of it for McManus, and they stay on the attack.
Ball in from Nickel again. Testing, effort. Shot on goal. It's low, but it is cleared. Once again, Nickel will... he just lets that one run. Jake Sardelich with a long ball throw to Smith, and excellent defending there from Tellez.
Yeah, unlucky. I think it was Mirko getting up for the header on that corner there and got up well, won it, and just won it straight down the back of his direct opponent.
Sardelich into Nickel. Back to Sardelich. Is McManus. Elects to cross to the back post. Radnich gets up high and collects well. And here's Daniel Robertson. First touch not the best. It's one of the highest flick-ups I've ever seen that he's managed to get on the end of, and he might have given away a foul here. Perhaps a touch of frustration with his first touch. But that's not the side of Daniel Robertson we've seen throughout the season. We've seen him threatening the goals on plenty of occasions. Ball out to Nickel, whose first touch is good. Santic stands him up. Ball into Smith, who goes down. Nothing doing according to the referee. A few Cockburn fans not exactly happy with the Scotsman's efforts.
Yeah, just looking for the contact there. I think the referee was adjudicating, going down before he was fouled.
There's Mirko there, just giving the ball back to Harris. And Mirko played in a auxiliary right-back role last week and managed to score the only goal against Perth Glory. He's in a more advanced role here. Here's Harris. Clipped ball forward. Mirko bundles over his direct man, and the referee thinks it's 6-1, half a dozen of the other, and elects for a goal kick.
Yeah, terrific defending by Jesse Lazaro. Just getting his body in the way, not stepping across and fouling him, but certainly impeding the forward and seeing it out for a goal kick.
Radnich with the ball out to the left wing for Cockburn. Sinclair wins his header. Smith to Allen. Here's Nickel driving at Santic. Uses his pace, perhaps he's overrun it. He has. Disappointing there from Darryl Nickel, but he'll be a thorn in Cockburn's side throughout the afternoon, the current gold medal winner. Ball won by Cockburn. Sardelich over his head. McManus, he's just a bundle of energy, absolute enthusiasm in the middle of the park from Bayswater. Robertson gets up well, as does Sinclair, but Woodcock takes over. Back to Sinclair, just shielding the ball well. Here's Woodcock with a teasing ball in. And that's hit a car. So I'm sure a few rice miles around the ground will follow.
Not yours, I hope, Louis. Were you parked behind the goals?
No, I was parked, got a spot in the car park, actually. But Riley Woodcock there, just showing his prowess on his left foot, formerly of Bayswater. And he'll be hoping to get one over his former club. Chris Coyne there with a driven ball out to the aforementioned Woodcock.
Let's hope if he does score, we don't see any of this not celebrating nonsense, Louis.
We'll know the answer to that one if he does indeed pop up with a goal here at Dalmantic Park. David Araya swinging this in for Cockburn. It's low, it's a flick on, and I think deemed a foul, according to the referee. Sinclair got a touch, but after the whistle was gone, it wouldn't have mattered for Cockburn anyway. Spence playing out to Harris, who at the moment looks like he's playing as a right centre-back or right back. He's come back into the side this week after missing out last week. Quite versatile. I've seen him down at Inglewood starting a holding midfield role. He's played at left back throughout the night series, and he's just put Spence under a little bit of pressure. But a customer as composed as him relishes the challenge. Here's McManus, who takes a touch and is brought down.
Well, you know how much I love a man with a high work rate, Louis. Always my favourites are the Couts and Lucases and the Hendersons. But I love watching Jack Allen get around the pitch. He's up and down. He was splitting the centre halves earlier to take the ball, and now he's in the 18-yard box trying to get on the end of it. So, just such a fulcrum and so full of energy. And here's his centre midfield partner, Declan Hargraves.
All out to the right wing. And Mirko will contest this with Robertson. And the Bayswater winger comes out on top. And Woodcock has nipped in well. Here's Riley Woodcock on the left wing for Cockburn. It's a ball into Sinclair, and that's just clever defending there. Trent Kay there, just a bit of composure. And the captain showing all his class. Ball up to Smith, who battles well. And here's Mirko. Has to wait for support to arrive. Finds Nicol. Nicol elects to go on his left. And again, his touch has overrun him. That's twice now. But a bit of pace on hand from the Scotsman.
Yeah, a couple of times there he's just hit it a little bit heavy and could have been really, really dangerous for Cockburn. But he's done the defending for them by knocking it out both times. But they need to really be on their toes because he's a very dangerous forward.
He can go either way, but the early running looks to appear that Nicol's preferring to go down the line against Santich. More on that story as it develops. Here's Lazaro, who's tackled by Mirko. Lazaro into Woodcock. Back to Stevens. Tellez picks up. It's a diagonal ball out wide. Santich elects to play back to Stevens. Tristow finds Lazaro. And Cockburn now, their first real attempt at trying to hold possession for an extended period of time as they look to pen Bayswater back. Tellez looking to drive infield. Here's Sinclair. Santich crosses to the back post. Ball in, Sinclair with time. Elects to shoot, it's low, but it is wide.
Well, very cagey start to this one, Louis. There's not a lot going on. We had a couple of sighters for Bayswater up the other end and a couple of, half chances for Cockburn coming through. Hassani Sinclair robbing the ball earlier on there and just having a flash at goal, but Both teams pretty content to just sit and stay in their shape, but we see this a lot in the NPL as the halves wear on. The action tends to start to come in the last 10 or 15 as the legs get a bit more tired. But this, at this point, the game needs something to spark it into life.
And Pratt here has won the ball high. He's won it a second time. Here's Pratt. He's got 2 to aim for. He plays Sinclair. An excellent save there from Spence. Brilliant effort from the Bayswater keeper, and somehow he's kept that in, not even conceding a corner.
Well, I said we needed something to spark this game into life, and Ryan Pratt has provided it there, winning that 50-50, playing a wonderful ball into Hassani Sinclair, and then Devin Spence. That's as good as you'll see today. Fantastic save.
He's Jack Allen on the ball for Bayswater, working his fellow defender, Trent Kay. Here's Smith, who escapes his marker well. Smith assessing his options, decides to go back to Allen. That's a sloppy ball there as Woodcock collects well. Here's Lazaro, combining well with Woodcock. Cockburn again look to settle things down and settle the crowd down at Dalmantic Park. Santich, Tellez, all the way back to Radonich. Here's Hayden Stevens on the ball. And he's given the ball away there. Hayden Stevens was all action in the FFA Cup round 3-2 loss to Bayswater. He came on as a substitute, scored the opener, and then conceded an own goal to give Bayswater the win. So he had an eventful afternoon against Bayswater 2 weeks ago. Hopefully he can have an eventful one here, and Cockburn can get up. Here's Ryan Pratt, driving well, twisting, turning, and defended well there. Jake Sardelich to corner.
Well, Sean McManus wanting a foul there on the halfway line in the build-up. It's about the third or fourth time there's been a 50-50 and a one that you could see given as a free kick on another day, but the referee's been consistent, and as long as he stays consistent, I think the players will like it. He's letting them play.
Ball to the back post. Spence doesn't quite get there. It's cleared well. Back in from Cockburn. Long header from Tellez. Sinclair is onside! And he has messed the finish up. Completely had time and space, and that's disappointing there from Sinclair.
Well, I think he was looking over at the linesman, hoping the flag would go up to spare his blushes. He thought he was offside, and I think that affected the finish. He sort of chested it down, and then very half-hearted attempt.
He's proving a handful early, and I think it's a rolling ball. And the referee pulls that one back. Araya out to Santich. Looks to overlap Pratt, who cuts inside. Pratt with the ball back to Santich, who was perhaps shoved. Long ball for Smith. And unfortunately, after Tellez misjudged the ball there, Smith gambled that he was going to win it. And if he gambled the other way, perhaps could have found himself through on goal. Stevens here, driving the heart of this Bayswater midfield. Lazaro with the ball in, and that's not his best effort. Here's Robertson. Comes out with the ball, elects to play Pratt in, and perhaps he wanted that incisive run a bit earlier from the winger. And Santich reacts the quickest. He's on the ball there, is Pratt. Pratt plays in Sinclair one more time, but he is offside this time. And Hassani Sinclair proving a bit of a handful at the moment. He hasn't quite found his radar or his range, but definitely putting his best foot forward.
Yeah, a bit of defensive frailty on display here from Bayswater. Of course, every time I say this, Louis, this season, a goal scored up the other end. So the commentator's curse is well and truly in effect, but looks like Cockburn's starting to look very dangerous, and a goal surely on its way soon.
Both two major turnovers have come from this Cockburn right-hand side. Pratt and Santich reacting quicker to loose Bayswater balls. And they've carved out two great chances but haven't taken them. Smith there rises highest. And the Scotsman not too happy with that decision. And the two centre-backs exchanging possession. Stevens plays out to Woodcock. Asks for some support and he gets it in Danny Robertson, but perhaps the pass is overhit as Harris clears that one out for a Cockburn throw. Ball inside to Araya. And he turns, plays in Tellez and back to Stevens. Two centre-backs in this last 10 minutes enjoying a bit more possession between them. Clips ball to Robinson. It's a header and it's in! And Daniel Robinson scores against Bayswater again! It's 1-0 to Cockburn.
Absolutely sensational ball into the box and an even better header. There's the goal I predicted, Louis. I told you it was coming. 1-0 Cockburn.
Takes his tally to 8 league goals, and he is neck and neck with Daryl Nicol, who's scored 8 league goals for Bayswater. We've got a real shootout here between two marksmen, and Daniel Robertson scores another header. He's not the most, he's not the biggest aerial threat, but he's an absolute goal threat wherever he is on the pitch, and he proves that once again.
I didn't quite see, I think it was Julian Tellez that played the ball in, Louis, but I was looked down for a second and the ball was on its way to the back post, and yeah, if it was Tellez or whoever played the ball, absolutely smashing.
The whole move, just a simple ball and a header that found its way past Spence, but Bayswater looked to respond. Mirko with a cross in, and Smith has got in, and he's put that one wide. Excellent effort there from Gordon Smith. Perhaps he feels like his jersey was getting pulled, but a very close to an equaliser there for Bayswater.
Yeah, he's asking for a foul, and if we weren't sure whether Tellez played the assist for the goal, he certainly did his defending there and was touch tight, and I'm sure that influenced the direction of that header.
Here's Harris, who asks his goalkeeper to give him an option, and he does. Harris plays a long ball of his own forward to McManus, who's chasing. McManus doesn't give up, and he's given away a throw deep inside Cockburn's defensive half, but again, we've talked about his energy throughout this first half, and he's putting his energetic foot forward for his new club. Araya, a man at his back, cleared by Lazaro, but that's out. McManus turns the ball over. Sinclair elects to switch, but can't quite find Ryan Pratt. He's Delic on the ball. Ball into Smith, who holds up well. Daryl Nicol drives in field. Perhaps Smith is just fixing his footwear. Trent Kay on the ball now for Bayswater.
Yeah, it just looks like he's trying to do what I do in the mornings, Gordon Smith, and get those boots on without undoing the laces, but he may not have any luck. He may have to loosen them a little bit to be able to get his foot in that. No, he's up and going.
Ball inside to Mirko, who's on the edge of the box.
No, he's not.
He's having some real difficulty, Gordon Smith, here, as Bayswater carry on. A ball into the box without their main aerial threat. Another ball swung in. McManus leaps highest. Or perhaps it was Santich who got the eventual touch there. Sardelic plays back to through Kay, should I say, and Jack Allen plays wide to Harris. Daniel Robertson, the goal scorer, slipped ball inside. Sinclair, he's nearly got there, but Trent Kay with some desperate defending. Once again, Lazaro's found himself out wide, this time on the right wing. Ball in from Lazaro, it's testing. Trent Kay, once again, a composed customer. Elects to play Daryl Nickel. Perhaps that took a bobble, but Smith comes short and holds the ball up to good effect. Hargreaves to Allen. Ball spreading wide. Here's Ryan Pearson. And Mirko has to readjust his run as the ball was played behind him. Here's Hargreaves. McManus. Ball inside to Allen. Clever turn. And it's a corner. Bayswater just threatening and looking to respond after that early setback.
Well, showing that he's not just a man with a high work rate, Louis. That turn in on goal, chance blocked out, but yeah, really pushing for that equaliser now, Bayswater.
Jason Mirko taking this one near Corona corner. It's a driven ball in. An excellent save, but it is in. I thought Radonic got a touch, but Bayswater equalise.
Oh, bit of Corona corner magic, Louis. It was a wonderful strike, a fantastic effort from the goalkeeper, but yeah, fell over the line and 1-1. We've got a game on our hands.
I think it was Jack Allen who got the vital touch. It was a scrappy effort, but Chris Coyne will not mind that at all as Bayswater answer back, and it's 1-1 down here at Dalmantic Park.
We're getting a bit of grief here that we weren't getting excited enough for that goal, Louis, from some of the, we'll call them the ultras, yeah. some of the more enthusiastic fans, but we are excited, Louis.
A difficult one to call. It was, like we said, a scrappy effort, but we'll be sure to get enthusiastic and up and about when each team scores.
Yeah, we don't want any sort of Martin Tyler versus Liverpool controversy, Louis. We are impartial commentators. There's Bayswater go forward again.
Smith is on the ball. And it's a ball in that is dealt with by Cockburn. And Harris is clipped there. Advantage is played. No, it's pulled back, should I say.
Yeah, good refereeing again. Let the play go. And as soon as he saw that ball sailing over the crossbars, pulled it back for a free kick in a dangerous area.
I think Daryl Nickel is going to step over this for Bayswater. He's got Jason Mirko for company as those two decide who's going to be the best option to take this free kick. Daryl Nickel, and it's agonisingly wide. Luke Radonic in goal there. Would have struggled to deal with that if that was inside his post, but he's on hand here to restart proceedings. Tellez, ball up to Sinclair, who flicks on. And Pearson, no nonsense. Great touch there from Tellez. We've seen an authoritative performance from the centre-back, showing different facets to his game. We've seen good defending, an excellent first touch there, and an excellent long ball for the opener, for Daniel Robertson's header. And here he is on cue at the moment. Sinclair reads that well. Pulls the trigger. It's moving. And a save there from Spence. He didn't know a lot about it. Here's Woodcock. Robinson tries to drive infield. A foul isn't coming. Smith racing to the ball. Edges. Tellez out the way. The ball comes back in for Cockburn, and perhaps that's over Woodcock's head. It is.
A difficult one to deal with for Devon Spence in the Bayswater goal from Hassani Sinclair. We were right behind it, and it was really wobbling through the air. In the end, did all he could and pushed it back into a pretty dangerous area, but the defenders did the job for him and cleared.
Here's Robinson with a turn. It took a bit of a bobble off the pitch. Spence also having to deal with the sun in this first half. He did quite well to deal with that rasping Hassani Sinclair effort.
Well, we saw the return of the cap last week, Louis, in goals down at Stirling Floriat. So surprised not to see that here with the conditions.
And Evan Spence electing to not choose the cap in the sun, but he plays the ball out wide to Jason Mirko, who flicks on to no one in particular.
Hope he's wearing sunscreen as well on that dome there, Devon.
You definitely hope so. You presume so. Jesse Lazaro looking to get things restarted for Cockburn, the former Perth Glory player. And Hargreaves on the ball here for Bayswater. And on a different wavelength to Sardelich, but the two play themselves out of trouble. Trent Kay back to Spence. Sinclair just applying a bit of pressure there. Harris up to McManus, and the captain Tristow there wins out well, but Hargreaves turning in and out and shrugs off Robertson. Bit of class there, but Santich reads well. He's back on the ball here, Santich. Waiting for a bit of support to arrive is Tristow. A clipped ball through for Santich. Excellent pass. And that's extremely disappointing from the right back.
Just some real class from Santich and Tristow there. First of all, with Santich leaving the ball behind and somehow dragging it forward, playing it back to his captain, and a delightful lob through ball, and then just, spooned opportunity.
Yeah, a bit of craft there from Tristow. Scooped effort. Didn't quite get the cross it deserved. Santich back in action again, contesting with Nickel. Tristow battling with McManus. Mirko stretching the pitch. Can't quite win that header. It's Jack Allen who turns his body and opens his body to the play, should I say. Out to Daryl Nickel, who decides to cut inside this time. To good effect. Daryl Nickel, he's beaten one. Doesn't quite get past the second. Here's Jack Allen. Scoop ball over the top. Daryl Nichols adjudged onside, crosses in, Smith! And Radonjic collects there after it takes a deflection, but threatening moments there for Bayswater. Trent Kay with just a clearing header there. And he's disappointed with the Bayswater forwards' effort to read that header. Lazaro. And him and Woodcock not quite on the same wavelength there. Harris picking the ball up for Bayswater. Long ball to Smith. And excellent defending there from Stevens. But his pass leaves a bit to be desired from Sinclair.
Yeah, Trent Kay on the ball there, starting to show a few signs of frustration. He was annoyed that Nickel wasn't working back hard enough for that header, and then he was yelling at someone about something else, and now they can have a go at him, Louis, because he's just shanked that one into touch.
Santich there with a heavy challenge on Daryl Nickel. Clipped ball round the corner. Sinclair can't quite get there. Jack Allen does. Disappointing ball there from Hargreaves. He turns the ball over for Bayswater. Here's Woodcock. Battling with Pearson. And Mirko tackles him, as does Pearson. Still on the ground, Woodcock, and has somehow given a foul away against him. Here's Hargreaves. Once again, a long diagonal out for Nicol. That's just over the Scotsman's head.
He's right in front of us, Daryl Nicol. He's put in a ton of running, particularly early doors, and looks to be struggling a little bit for breath at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see if he can last the full 90.
No doubting his quality. Last season's reigning gold medal winner, involved in a transfer to Bayswater City this season. And he's been in sparkling form. One of the top goal scorers in the league with 8, alongside Cockburn's Danny Robertson, who opened the scoring today. And perhaps he's just going in and out of this game, but he's looked a threat every time he's got the ball. Here's Mirko, back to Harris. Captain Trent Kay on the ball, looking to don the Copa Mundials. Ball into Nicol. Santic nipping at his heels. Santic the furthest forward for Cockburn, the right back, as Riley Woodcock elects to take up pressing duties. Harris there with the ball forward. The energetic Mirko elects to use his pace. Crosses in, over the head of Smith. Jack Allen just assessing his options. Back to Hargreaves. A bit of a reverse pass up to Smith. Nothing given, and Santic just decides to relieve some pressure and get that ball out of Dalmantic Park.
Yeah, bit of toe there shown from Jason Mirko. It's always good to see that in front of the Mirko brothers sign on the far side, Louis.
Very apt. Good bit of product placement from them. Here's McManus on the ball. Trent Kay, he's got time and space in front of him. Elects to use both those. Ball into Smith. Smith turns into Mirko. Back to Smith. The ball was a tad behind him, but he's back up. Smith looking to take on all comers, but can't quite find his way through. Here's Daniel Robertson. Lazaro looking for Sinclair. Harris intercepts. Here's Pratt. Into Robinson, reverse ball. It's intercepted by Harris, and a disappointing ball there from Danny Robinson. Is Smith. He's got Stevens at his back. McManus tries his left. Excellent save there from Radonich. Spectacular effort from both keeper and midfielder, and that's more like it from both sides.
As we called it, Louis, last 15 minutes, the excitement starts to ratchet up in these NPL games, and some of the more dangerous players getting a bit more time on the ball and a few more mistakes from the defence, and both teams are ready for half-time just about, I'd say. We'll see if we can get a leader going in.
It's been an exciting game so far down here at Dalmantic Park. Daniel Robertson opening the scoring before, I think it was Jack Allen who equalised. Clipped ball forward. Pearson decides to let that run to give himself a bit more space. Pearson, a clipped ball to Smith, who's got also time and space to bring that down. Jack Allen. Ball to Mirko. Underlapping run here. And it's Sardelic who clips the ball in, but it's just a bit disappointing. And Radonich can calm things down here for Cockburn. Take a few seconds off the clock. He's been in decent form in between the posts for Cockburn. I was down here, the game against Perth Glory, where they drew 1-1, and he was magnificent late on. Also was quite good late on last week for Cockburn. And elects to play short.
Yeah, and it was a very sharp save from him just moments ago on Sean McManus's outside the box effort.
from a family of goalkeepers. Sean, we were talking about this pre-game. His brother Ben Radnich is on the bench for Cockburn as a reserve goalkeeper. His other brother Alec currently plying his trade at Murdoch University Melville FC. Here's Santich on the ball. Clip ball to the back post. No one really under it for Cockburn. Interesting decision to take it down from Pearson, but the ambition has paid off for the Bayswater right back. McManus just nearly gets ahead. A fortunate touch from him. Here's Smith who holds the ball up well. Daryl Nichol electing to cut the pitch. He gets past two. Daryl Nichol dribbling well. Daryl Nichol is going all the way! And Radonich collects, but a magnificent run there from the gold medal winner.
Making an absolute mockery of my judgment that he was looking tired, Louis. He's just burned about 3 or 4 defenders. Started off with some excellent work rate again from Sean McManus, winning that ball back. And it could be a goal before half-time the way this one's going, Louis.
Yep, it's firmly in the ballot. Santich once again looking like he's left the ball behind, but takes it well. It's a ball out to Lazaro. Woodcock screaming for it, but he's forced backwards. Lazaro again, back to Woodcock. Harris stands up well. Here's Smith, who's finding himself a little bit deeper as this half goes on. Doesn't have much support. The energetic Sean McManus making a run, but perhaps that was to distract defenders and give himself some space. Hargreaves on the ball here for Bayswater. Here's Sardelich. Back to Hargreaves. Trent Kay. Ball into McManus, who punches that ball out with a bit of ferocity. And I think both sides just looking to take a bit of a breather here as Daryl Nichol gets back on the ball. Declan Hargreaves with the long ball through. Smith's under it. Stevens there defending his post well. Here's Woodcock. And again, just relieving some pressure.
Yeah, great defending from Hayden Stevens there. Is off balance, and one for all the youngsters watching. If you're off balance and you're not sure what to do, you get it as high, as wide and as far as you can, and he did. Got it out of the danger.
Yeah, the two defenders for Cockburn have looked assured today, despite conceding one. Nichol to Hargreaves. Just penning Cockburn back. Here's Pearson. Ball into Smith. Back to Pearson, who runs into the box, but his touch escapes him, and that's a corner. We've already had one Corona corner resulting in a goal. Perhaps we could have another one here as Jason Mirko looks to step up.
They are getting some real legs out of that sponsorship. I reckon that sign looks like it's about 40 years old, and they're still getting the shouts. But one Corona corner goal. Can we get 2 before halftime?
Ball in from Mirko. Oh, free header. And Radonich is not very happy with the marking there from Kay. In the end, it was a tame header, but space was afforded for the Bayswater captain.
Well, yeah, the big man, the big centre half, he really had more time than he thought. Could have actually brought that down. But they don't like to do that, the centre backs, do they, Louis? They don't like to take a touch, and right, they just like to get their big heads on it.
They like to rifle home any chance they can on those set pieces, and Kay got his head to it. It was on target, but lacked the power to really threaten Radnich. But you saw him just responding. Extremely disappointed with his defensive efforts. And Smith has won the ball up high here. Gordon Smith, he's one-on-one. And he goes down a tad easily. Grabs his head. And the Cockburn fans aren't really happy with the Scotsman's efforts there.
No, super defending, just stood him up and marshalled him. I don't think it was any particularly a dive. I think he just tried to get past him and lost control of the ball and couldn't. Ran into a brick wall.
I think it was Hayden Stevens there who defended well in a one-on-one situation after Tellez was bundled off the ball by Smith. I agree. I do think it was Smith electing to go one way and he just ran into Stevens. Obviously trying to go down and win a penalty while he was at it. but I don't think he was really convinced that that was going to be a spot kick.
No, and he didn't get up and continue arguing for it, Louis, and I think that's when you know that they're not really trying to get one over on the ref. It's just a natural result of the play.
Sardelic just letting that one come out of control as Woodcock plays backwards for Cockburn. A bit of a look-away pass there. Him and Pratt have swapped wings at the moment. Here's Hayden Stevens on the ball. Ball out to Lazaro. Robinson, a ball round the corner. Tristow. Back to Robinson. And it's an interesting effort. Robinson, oh my word! What a goal that is! Daniel Robinson, his second goal of the game, and that is absolutely spectacular.
Well, that's caught absolutely everyone out. I have to apologise to the ladies for getting excited, but that's one of the best goals we've seen all season. He has hit that from about, well, I'll say 30 yards, a full 30, 35 yards, and caught all of us by surprise, including Devon Spence. And wow, that's all I can say about that one.
What a goal that is. Daniel Robinson in sparkling form, and that was absolutely brilliant.
Pelters for that all game. I'm calling that goal of the year. I don't care who you are.
Here's Jason Merkel on the ball. Woodcock just losing out there. And yeah, well, if the goals come in of any quality, of a similar ilk as that, the fans down here at Dalmantic Park will be getting their money's worth, that's for sure. And Pearson there giving a foul away. I think it was on Araya. And we can calm down after that magnificent goal from Robinson.
It's just one of those ones where it popped up. It really reminds me of I'm giving away my allegiances here. Yes, I'm a Liverpool fan, but it really reminds me of Luis Suarez against Norwich when that ball just pops up for him and he just goes, I know what I'm doing with this. I'm just going to whack it. It's going to dip over the goalkeeper's head and into the back of the net. It's just absolutely phenomenal.
It was so speculative, I thought he was playing a through ball. I thought he can't be shooting from there. It was just caught Spence out completely off guard. And that's what separates the two sides at half-time. It's Cockburn 2, Bayswater City 1. A fantastic game down here at Dalmantic Park. Sean, your thoughts?
Well, I can't stop thinking about the goal. What a way to go into half-time. I'm going to go and duck out before I get those ultras to get into me, Louis. Go get some chips. But, wow, what a way to go into the half. It's still all to play for here. 2-1 Cockburn, but both teams showing they're dangerous now going forward.
That's right. It's Cockburn City 1, Bayswater City... Cockburn City 2, Bayswater City 1. And welcome back to Dalmantic Park. We're here, Cockburn 2, Bayswater City 1. And we're immediately into the action. Both sides are testing keepers at times. And what separates the current fixture was an absolutely magnificent effort from Daniel Robertson. His first touch, let's just say perhaps it got away from him, but the second touch, oh my word, one of the goals of the season, Sean.
Not one of, Louis. Not one of. The goal of the season. And wherever you are joining us around Perth or around the world, I hope you're having as good an afternoon as Daniel Robinson. He's got 2 now. But, we'll be lucky if he scores one better than that second in his whole life. As you said, we both watched it about 6 more times at half-time again. And, it got a little bit away from him as McManus gives the ball away. And I think that sort of made his mind up for him when, as soon as that ball was getting away, he thought, well, I might as well. Yeah. And what a decision it turned out to be.
Devon Spence, who was in goals for Bayswater, was in a good position. He was on his line, and that's how good the shot was. It was right into the top corner. A magnificent volley. But we'll get back to proceedings here. It is 2-1 as Trent Kay gets back on the ball for Bayswater. And I'm sure Chris Coyne will be revving the boys up at half-time as Harris is putting a bit of bother here. And he has to clear there. Excellent pressing there from Riley Woodcock. His first touch was back to goal, and that really put him into a spot of bother. Woodcock to Lazaro. Oh, clever nutmeg. But that was Mirko there just cleaning up Harris's mess. And Bayswater have started a bit shaky here. As we mentioned pre-game, Bayswater need this win in order to keep tabs with the top 4. If Cockburn do indeed win here today at Dalmantic Park, they'll go level on points with Bayswater, but will be below them with goal difference. Here's the man of the moment, Daniel Robertson. That ball's cleared. High ball to Santich. Wide by Hargreaves. Here's Mirko. Robertson battling with Mirko. He gets away well. Elects to cross. Ball into Smith. And it's a disappointing effort there from Gordon Smith. He had time, but couldn't quite measure the finish. Here's Jack Allen. Daryl Nickel. Smith playing as an auxiliary left winger. Sean McManus had time on the top of the box. Gets it on his left. It takes a deflection. Cries of handball from Jason Mirko, but nothing given. Asani Sinclair turns away well. And Harris cleans up. Sinclair elects to press. Adam Harris into Hargreaves. Plays the ball back out wide. Sardelic on it now for Bayswater. Looking for the willing runner in Nickel. And a corner is given. Daryl Nickel for Bayswater. Doesn't beat the first man, but it does flick off kindly for Bayswater. Here's McManus. Takes a touch around his man. Ball into Smith. McManus will get another bite at the cherry. Perhaps a shout of offside, but the linesman keeps his flag down. McManus battling well. And Lazaro with a bit of composure there. Here's Daniel Robinson. Araya with a heavy touch. Nickel nips in well. And Pearson calming things down for Bayswater.
Well, early signs that this second half starting the way the first one ended. There's still space, there's still chances, there's still Mirko running up and down the wing, getting in behind defenders. There's surely more goals to come in this one.
Here's McManus. Ball into Allen. And his touch is a bit short, but Pearson will recycle possession here. Kay creating a bit of an angle there. And Pearson elects to use the outside of his foot. Ball wide. Here's Smith again. He's finding himself in the channels in this first half. Luke Radnich already trying to calm things down for Cockburn as they find themselves 2-1 up here at Dalmantic Park. Lazaro wasn't a bit of space, but he elects to try and find Woodcock. Tristow heads to Robertson. Just a bit of head tennis going on here. Araya calms things down as both sides exchange a bit of possession. Darryl Nichol with the first time ball into Sardelic, should I say, but he's lost the ball there. Sinclair giving chase. Kay just showing a bit of experience there as he plays back Devon Spence. And Tristow coming across to put pressure on Pearson. Excellent ball through from McManus. Here's Mirko racing away on this right wing. Ball in from Mirko, and it's great defending there. Julian Tellez got the touch. Smith was bearing down.
Well, great link-up starting with Ryan Pearson. Lovely little flick on to a first-time touch from Sean McManus to put them through, and looking dangerous. It could be an equaliser.
Jason Mirko on corner duties. It's with a bit of backspin. Harris with a touch. Nichol with a flick. And Radnich was positioned perfectly. And it once again calms things down, but a close shave there for Cockburn.
Yeah, I don't think he could believe the ball came to him in the end and threw a foot at it. And yeah, the goalkeeper was just in a perfect spot and it nestled into his arms.
From one goalkeeper to another, here's Devon Spence. Trent Kay just assessing his options. Plays his centre-back partner Harris, who plays a long ball up to Smith. It's a difficult one to deal with off the back of Smith's heads. And perhaps there was a nudge there from the Cockburn defender. Smith was looking for it. Robinson shielding off McManus. Getting past two, and he's been fouled there by Jack Allen. And perhaps that's a card.
Yeah, card for Jack, and fair to say that Daniel Robinson has a little bit of confidence about him at the moment. Lou, he's walking with a bit of swagger. He got up and applauded the ref there for giving the free kick, and probably lucky to not find himself in the book for that. But, yeah, what a day he's having.
What a season he's having. He's currently the top scorer in the NPL with 9 goals. All from midfield, a few from the spot. But he's not a part of that Cockburn front three, but such a goal threat when he makes those late runs and steps up for penalties as well. Here's Lazaro, who's got a bit of space ahead of him. Ball into Robertson. Robertson asking for a handball. And the crowd are asking for it as well, and nothing doing from the referee.
Well, this referee doing what he's done all game and trying to let the play go on. I think the arms were in a natural position, Louis, and it's really down to your interpretation. I don't think there was anything intentional about it at all, so I'm happy with the referee's decision there.
I think Cockburn would have been happy if they retained possession, but the turnover rubs salt in the wounds for the Cockerels. And the referee just hurrying Lazaro up. Lazaro cupping his ear as if to pretend he couldn't hear the man in the middle. Ball into Woodcock. Pearson collects well. Santich. Ball out wide is Pratt, who's going to cut inside. Woodcock battling away with a few Bayswater defenders. He's come off better than his direct opponent. Gordon Smith back to goal. He goes down. And I think the referees better make their mind up here. They've given a Cockburn throw. Tellez. Here's Lazaro. Long ball to Woodcock. Harris gets up well. Pearson is there. Cuts inside. Hargreaves on the ball here for Bayswater. Sardelic turning out of a bit of trouble as Asani Sinclair presses Devon Spence. Tristow flicking this one on. Can't quite find a Cockburn shirt. Asking for a bit more of an incisive run there from Pratt. He's Jack Allen on the ball as Hargreaves leaves that one for Harris. Here's Pearson. Back to Hargreaves. Nickel calling for the ball as he makes a run inside. And Nickel has been robbed here, and that's a bit desperate from the Scotsman. Robertson once again fouled, and once again drawing a yellow card from the referee's pocket for a foul on him.
He's done everything so far today. He's got the goals, and now he's just picking up bookings for the opposition. We did have a substitution at halftime, Louis. Adam and Fuso for Cockburn City has come on.
And he's replaced David Araya in the midfield for Cockburn. Here's Lazaro into Woodcock, and Fuso on the ball. Back to Woodcock. Decides to go down the line, the former Bayswater City player, and that's a bit of a disappointing effort from him. Spence electing to kick this one long, and Pearson and Mirko are both under this as Pearson flicks it on to Mirko as Hargreaves clicks the ball in behind. McManus contesting well. He's been willing to throw his weight around all afternoon, the former Stirling man. He's recently come in from the Lions to Bayswater.
Yeah, and he's won his team a throw there. I'm not sure if the referee changed his mind or the linesman changed his mind, but yeah, if they don't win this game, it's not going to be for lack of trying. With players like Sean McManus there willing to throw his body against a much bigger opponent. They've got your Jack Allens and your Mirkos and Smiths, and these guys will just run all day, so it's going to go right down to the wire.
The second ball on the pitch that's just been collected by a youngster as Lazaro and Mirko tussle well, and it's a tasty challenge there from Hargreaves. And Fuso there just getting rid, and he's copped one in the back of his head for good measure. Here's Trent Kay on the ball. Long ball through to McManus, but he can't get on the end of it. Here's Smith. Oh, the entire Cockburn back four asking for a handball as Gordon Smith gets things underway for Bayswater. Here's Mirko on the right wing. Ball in from Mirko. It's a teasing ball. Radonjic with a great save. I think it was Santich or Fuller who applied the final touch for Cockburn. Or perhaps Tellers, one of the back four. They were lucky to bail out the Radonjic goal.
Yeah, you're really spreading your bets there, Louis. One of the defenders, as we may have another substitute here. Looks like Gustavo Giron is coming on. Fan favourite with those around us. And so that Declan Hargreaves is replacing.
Gustavo Maralunda, one of the NPL's most prolific players over the last few seasons. He was out for a lengthy spell of time with an ACL injury, and that's one of the reasons why he hasn't really been getting the minutes this season, coming back from such a long-term injury, but he's looking to make an impact here.
We're being assured by the fans he will make an impact, Louis.
Ball in from Daryl Nickel, and that's cleared. Hassani Sinclair on defensive duties. The striker clears Cockburn's box well. Long ball from Spence, up to Smith. Ball through to Maralunda, chests this one down. Moves the ball. Overlapping run from Mirko. Uses him well. Mirko with the ball inside. It's a difficult ball to deal with. And Cockburn clear well. But Bayswater here just applying a bit more pressure.
Yeah, and sometimes, as Maralunda showing there, you don't actually have to be directly involved to impact the play. Just his movement and just opening up the space and getting the attention of the defenders gave a bit of room for Mirko to run down the line and get that ball in, as he does again.
Oh, interesting dummy there from Hayden Stevens. And Cockburn can clear. Perhaps a nervy moment. Lucky his defensive partner was there to help him out. Sardelic wins that one. Here's Jack Allen. And it looks as if the change from Chris Coyne has worked to good effect. And here's McManus, the new signing from Stirling. That's disappointing end product. And perhaps that's gone out for a throw.
And he is the least happy with it of everyone here. He's let out an absolute scream there, and he's no stranger to he's playing a bit wider in the second half. He was playing in the hole in the first half, but when we saw him playing for Stirling, he played out wide, so no excuse. He's used to playing there.
Here's Gordon Smith, and it seems as if there's a bit of a change in shape for Bayswater. They've gone to a bit more of a 4-4-2 with Maralunda and Smith occupying the two centre-backs. A ball comes in. Flick on there from Lazaro. But that change in shape obviously gives a bit more freedom for McManus to run at defenders on this right-hand side. Perhaps Mirko's gone to the right-back position that he occupied last weekend. Allen back to Mirko. McManus looks to hit a ball in first time. It's into Smith. Misjudges the header. And Sancic just clears that one. And again, they're just trying to relieve some pressure, the Cockburn defenders, as Bayswater are enjoying a good spell in this second half. Maralunda back to Sardelic. As a turnover in possession ensues. Ball into Woodcock, and Hassani Sinclair races clear. Sinclair, and it's in! And Cockburn goes 3-1 up.
Well, it's a backbreaker because all the players going the other way. They're having all the chances. Mirko's getting balls into the box. They've got corner after corner. And they go up the other end and score, and just a clinical, composed finish. Great run, great touch, and just, wonderful tuck away from Hassani Sinclair.
The striker has been rewarded for his efforts. He's been closing down Spence and the Bayswater City centre-backs all afternoon. And a real sucker punch there for Bayswater.
For Cockburn, number 19, Hassani Sinclair. So Cockburn City 3, Bayswater 1.
Jordan Smith gets things restarted for Bayswater as they have it all to do in this second half, going 2 goals behind to Cockburn. And like we mentioned, the build-up, especially the last 5 to 10 minutes, have been all Bayswater. Cockburn have barely threatened the Bayswater goal, and just with one chance, a clever first touch from Sinclair, found himself through on goal and showed great composure to put it past Devon Spence.
We've got another substitution coming up. I believe this time for Cockburn. It will be Ashley Rosendale coming on. And very interesting to see here how Bayswater respond to going 2 goals down. As I mentioned, the work rate was still there. They were fighting, they were making chances, and still just under half an hour to go in this one, and plenty of time left for them to get back in this game, but they need to just get that first goal to get things started.
Robinson just putting pressure on Harris. He's tussling with the centre-back. Mirko with the ball around the corner to the recent goal scorer Sinclair. Long ball from Lazaro. Perhaps he saw the open arms of the right winger, but the ball left a bit to be desired. Trist out to Sinclair, and he is absolutely collected by Mirko. A few Cockburn players asking for a card, but nothing doing.
Yeah, not sure if it was anything malicious. I think he was just late. Didn't leave one in on him, just collected him with the body afterwards. So the referee just says, calm it down, mate.
Lazaro on the ball here for Cockburn. The ball is won by Cockburn, but Harris collects the second. Here's Daryl Nicol. Extremely important 5 to 10 minutes for Bayswater to see if they can get something out of this game. It's been quite an even contest But Cockburn have just proved a bit more clinical. And the boys in this luminous yellow away kit have it all to do. Sancic with a throw inside to Tristão, who's got a bit of time and space. Radonic dotting the cap. We forgot to mention that in the sun in this second half, the keeper's elected to wear some headwear.
Yep, it's a bit old school, but these are the conditions with this beautiful Australian sun we get down here. Louis, they don't always get that in England and in the European leagues, so not always a problem, but something for our goalkeepers to think about.
Here's Adam Harris on the ball. Okay, playing back to Harris. Ball inside to Jack Allen, who's looking for a run from Gordon Smith. And the striker was just a bit on his toes there. He's put in quite a shift up front for Bayswater. Both players contesting well as McManus brings it down well. It takes a touch. Mirko gets one of his own. Here's Smith. Again, he's finding himself in wide areas, but it's a great ball to Mirko! And Mirko scores! And Bayswater are back in it!
Well, he's been the best player on the pitch in this second half, Mirko, and he's capped it off with a goal there. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's been quick, he's been dangerous, and right there he tucks it away in the bottom left-hand corner after a superb build-up. They've been the better team. They're back within a goal. Let's see if they can find some more.
Ball for Bayswater. Cockburn City 3. Bayswater City 2.
Jason Mirko just relishing that right-back role. Last two games, he's played in that right-back position, and he's found himself on the score sheet twice. He was a right winger in that first half, and Chris Coyne is ringing the changes. Giordano Colley is one of the players coming on, and he's going to replace Jack Allen, and Daryl Nicol is going to be replaced by Kenny Keogh, and that just shows the depth that Bayswater have, bringing on two players of that class who have started plenty of games throughout this 2019 season, and this game is right up for grabs.
Well, I said it after they went 2 goals down that they'd keep fighting, they'd keep running. It's the sort of players, the quality and the calibre of and the character of the players that they've got at the club, and they've shown it here with the goal to really put the cat amongst the pigeons, get it back within a kick.
Definitely one for the neutrals down here at Dalmantic Park. 3-2 with a bit more time for some late drama. A few Bayswater fans next to us will be hoping that that's the case. Here's Trent Kay, the captain of Bayswater. And this change of shape seems to be working well. Here's Maralunda. Cuts inside on his right foot, plays a ball wide to McManus. Ball in for Smith! Saved by Radonic! Colley gets a touch! Oh, it's all action in the box! Cockburn clear well, but once again Bayswater coming close.
Yeah, wonderful save, just threw the studs out and just got something on it, and then a few Cockburn defenders willing to throw their bodies in front of the rebound attempt as well, but a lot of action, it's all happening here.
Kay bringing that ball down. Robinson just wins that one back. Is Pratt. He's got Colley and Sardelic with him, and Pratt looks to go down the line. The ball is just under the legs of Pratt, and Sardelic escapes, but it's an excellent one-on-one battle between both players, and I think a throw is given for Bayswater.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Here's Pearson with the ball in behind. Smith just looking to apply a bit of pressure. Smith once again looking to hold things up for Bayswater, but the ball's cleared. Kay with a solid header forward, but Robertson reads the ball well. Ball into Tristow, and Harris with a clever tackle, and Robinson has clipped Pearson there. Here's Giordano Colli on the ball, recently subbed on, and he's given the ball away. Players sliding in and out, and Robinson's won the ball, but he's been given a yellow card. Perhaps he thought it was reckless.
Oh, I'm not sure about that one, Louis. I think it's a fantastic tackle. It's a 50-50. It's there to be won. Kept his studs down, didn't go over the ball. But the referee's obviously got a different angle to us. Only gets to see it once.
I think that's exactly it, mate. He does have a different angle. The ball and the studs from our angle look like a clean tackle, and the referee was from behind, and perhaps that view affected his judgment.
Yeah, and a very difficult job, as we say. From where we are, didn't look a foul, but I think he's been great all day, and he's been letting them play. As McManus looks to get a ball in.
Ball in from McManus, it's in the sun, and Radonich collects well.
Mate, he's used the cap there. Shield that sun out of his eyes. What an invention.
Excellent, safe hands from Luke Radonich.
You know, I was just thinking maybe at half-time he heard Devon Spence going down the tunnel and needed something to blame, and was blaming the sun for that goal from Robinson at the end of the first half, and he thought, well, maybe I'll don the cap, and it's played out to good effect there. It's
often the case with the way with the way Dalmantic Park is. Oh, what a ball that is! In from Adam Harris as I just had to readjust my point. It's a long ball forward, and Smith is chasing well. Excellent clearance there. Stevens just gets a touch. Pearson on the ball is Colli, just moving it wide. Keogh cuts in, and that was a rasping effort right into the head of Tellez, and Bayswater again applying more pressure. Yeah, he's absolutely rocketed that, and I don't know how much Tellez knew about it, but he got in the way of it and dealt with it, but it's certainly dealt with him. He's on his haunches there, recovering. It's a head injury, so they're going to stop the game, bring the trainer out. Chance for all of us to catch our breath. Frantic second half. Excellent second half for the neutral. And all those down at Dalmantic Park are on edge here, and that's exactly the way we like it in the NPL. Plenty to play for. Both sets of strikers looking to fill their boots here and perhaps provide the telling touch. Cockburn will be down to 10 for the next 30 seconds or so as Tellez receive treatment. It's not the man you want missing defending corners either. Giordano Colli with a ball in. Kay got a touch. And I think the man who was recently subbed on for Cockburn has got a bit of a limp here. It's a flick on. Kay gets himself around. Is Maralunda. Decides to play Colli. Teasing ball across the area, and Cockburn can only clear these. They can't exactly get a foothold of possession, and Bayswater enjoying another great spell. Flat ball in there from Colli. Harris tries to get a touch. And this ball will come back at them. Colli back to Mirko. Just trying to make some headway here and perhaps score an equaliser or even a winner. We said pre-game that this game's vitally important for both sides. Cockburn in 8th on the table as Maralunda wriggles out of trouble. Cockburn 8th on the table at the moment, and Bayswater City in 6th. Cockburn will sit on the same points as Bayswater if the result stays the same. But Bayswater will be really looking to try and keep tabs with the top four, and will look to turn things around. Here's McManus. Ball into Mirko, scorer of the last goal. Tellez gets that one away, as does Lazaro.
Yeah, all to play for now, and this we tick into the final 15 minutes of this one, Louis, and really penned in now. Cockburn City, Bayswater on the front foot, and
ball in from Keogh. Tellez does well. Ball back in from Bayswater, and it's just more pressure, more corners. Chris Coyne definitely happy with what he's seeing after that early setback in the second half when Hassani Sinclair put Cockburn 3-1 up. And the response since then from the away side has been quite magnificent. I think Amfuso is, Rosendale, should I say, is a bit worse for wear here.
yeah, he's obviously the substitute. Coming at half-time, they may have to substitute the substitute, not in an embarrassing Mario Balotelli-esque fashion, Louis, but for an injury. And what is it about the NPL and the tight games and the injury stoppages? It seems like every game that goes down to the wire, we have 10 minutes of stoppage time. We're going to have a good chunk again here today, at least 4 or 5 minutes, if not more. There's about 13 minutes left of allotted time. As we'll see if Rosendale's able to run this one off first, but it looks like they may be making a sub.
I think Rosendale's given the thumbs up. And we're just waiting to see if they decide to take someone off.
Yeah, just a bit of confusion over what they're saying on that far side. Obviously, you can make the substitution at the nearest point, and I think they're waving him away. They're saying they don't want the sub. Daniel Doles was ready to come on for Cockburn, but we'll give it another couple of minutes and see what happens.
It's a disappointing ball in from Collie. He'll get another bite at the cherry. It's a bit of a difficult place to take a corner in that corner of the pitch. It's a bit elevated, not quite as prolific as Corona corner.
No, it's certainly not Corona corner, but yeah, the other thing really here is they can't afford to be down to 10 men because Bayswater are pushing.
And they clear well. Header away from Cockburn. McManus plays the ball out wide, but there's a bit left off the pass. Mirko goes in hard. Sinclair cleverly gets his way out of trouble. Hassani Sinclair, excellent work, combines well with Robinson. Great tackle there, Sardelic, but he didn't quite win the ball. No one really to aim at, and you can hear the groans of frustration from the home fans.
He just didn't quite trust his left foot there. He had a man on the far side, I think it was Pratt, in acres of space, but the ball's running away from him. He had to turn his body and try and manoeuvre a crossfield ball and on his weaker left foot and just couldn't quite do it.
All to play for here is Keogh. Extremely disappointing, and
Well, they get paid the big bucks, quality control.
you've heard
That's what high pay cuts, quality control.
you've heard it here from the crowd, and it's the wrong Keogh is one of the shouts. I'm sure he'll be disappointed if he hears that. Chris Coyne there absolutely gutted with the ball control there from Kenny Keogh. He's just recently been subbed on and will no doubt look to have a better impact than that.
I think Daniel Doles will be coming on here. They are going to make the change. Rosendale will be very disappointed. He came on at half-time and then to come off injured in such an important game at such an important time. Yeah, we got a feel for him.
He was defending a set piece. He went out to close Gordon Smith, and that's when I first noticed the limp, and that was at least 10 to 15 minutes ago. And like we said, extremely disappointed from the sub. But Cockburn are looking to hold on here as Bayswater are really putting their foot on the pedal. It's Giordano Collie. Ball out to Pearson. Harris racing onto this ball. The ball escapes him. And Mirko's just a bit casual there. He scored the most recent goal in the game to give Bayswater a real chance. Hassani Sinclair elects to go in with a bit of force, and here's Adam Harris up the back. And that's just cleared from Cockburn well. Sardelic putting Kay into a bit of trouble there. And this crowd are really getting involved with this fixture. The tensions are mounting. As Lazaro slowly walks over to take this throw for Cockburn City.
Yeah, I think they've just got to calm it down a little bit. Bayswater. There's still plenty of time left. It's just ticking under 10 minutes of allotted time, plus a good chunk of stoppage time. So loads of time. They don't need to force it. They don't need to rush it, but it feels like they are at the moment. Just a little.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Pick that one. Forgot the elbow.
And it was a handball given against Cockburn there. Adam Harris to Trent Kay. Back to Spence. Chris Coyne giving instructions from the other side of the pitch to his keeper. Adam Harris with a long ball up to Smith. That's often a pattern of play you'll see down at Bayswater. Smith holds the ball up well. Lazaro at his heels. It's touched by Maralunda. Clever ball across. It was a bit delicate in the box. He didn't quite get there. McManus with a throw to Colley. Here's Pearson. Ball wide. Sardelic into Maralunda, who turns well. Pearson again. McManus. Mirko, who's looking a bit tired. He's expended plenty of energy, but he's won his side a corner for his efforts.
Yeah, much more like it from Basie here. They've just settled it down. They've started to really push and pen Cockburn back again. It's going to be a long 10 minutes or so if they can't find a bit of occasional relief on the counter-attack.
Giordano Colley looking to whip this one in and perhaps grab an equaliser. And Harris tries to get his head on it, but it's going to be a goal kick. Chris Coyne there with his hands out, almost as if to ask, what was that? There is time for Bayswater to bring it back, but they're not going to do it with deliveries like that. Radnic just urging his fullback, Jesse Lazaro, to get up the pitch, as there's not going to be any time for playing out here. Ball up to Hassani Sinclair, who rises highest and wins well. Clever touch. And somehow that's a foul. Trent Kay looking a bit bemused.
Yeah, just caught a little bit after he kicked it, but a little bit soft and a little bit against the way he's been refereeing it so far. And Trent Kay, or TK as they affectionately know him down at the club, not happy either.
Yeah, Daniel Dole's just getting around his marker there. Jesse Lazaro, the driven ball wide. Pratt lets that one run. Pratt cuts inside. Elects to take on another few markers. It's Robertson! Robertson has a hat-trick! Unbelievable! Unbelievable scenes from the midfielder. He runs to the bench in celebration.
Well, what a game he's had. We mentioned earlier he's everywhere in the first half. He's been a little bit quiet for the last 15 minutes, but he's popped up when it's counted and completed an absolutely phenomenal hat-trick. What a day, what a game for him.
Absolutely magnificent scenes
And
here
that's
at
a score
Dalmantic
for
Park.
Number 16, Daniel Robinson. Cockburn City 4, Bayswater 2.
Just finds himself in the right place at the right time. Just drifts off the attacking players almost as a second striker at times, and what a handful he's proved to be this afternoon. Bayswater again looking to apply more pressure as McManus plays inside to Pearson. Ball wide to Keogh. He's got the son to deal with. And he loses out. Sancic tackles well. He's really only got Sinclair to aim at. Sancic tries to open up his strides. And Pearson defends well. Ball to Mirko. Back to Harris. Cockburn content to get most of their numbers behind the ball, just leaving Sinclair up as an isolated option as they defend in these last few minutes. McManus. Pearson. Maralunda. Leaves it back to Pearson. Ball in behind. Keogh's getting around his defender but didn't get there before Radnic. And I'm sure the keeper will take his time on this one. Testing ball. No chance of a back pass there as Spence doesn't give the referee the option. Tristow, ball into Pratt, and Pratt fouls Sardelich there. Again, we were saying before that Daniel Robinson goal, before his third goal, it was all Bayswater, and that goal's sucked a bit of the life out of the team in the luminous yellow.
Yeah, two real sucker punches second half. Both goals for Cockburn coming against the run of play, and can there be another one here?
Oh, Hassani Sinclair, he had Pratt to his right. Perhaps he's fouled. Sinclair keeps going. Sinclair, and that's wayward.
Well, Pratt is on. We've heard that in some colourful terms behind us, but he really was in a lot of space. He was on earlier, and Sinclair lost the ball, and I think he almost used that as a bit of an excuse. Sort of bubbled. He can say he lost where he was on the pitch, but really no excuse for not feeding Pratt there.
Hassani Sinclair looking a bit tired up there. He's put himself about well. That's a strong tackle there from Tristow on Giordano Colli. Yellow card for the captain. Adam Harris on the ball for Bayswater. Looking for a wide option. That option is Jason Mirko. Ball back to Mirko. And Cockburn have players there. Hayden Stevens, one of them, to just defend that goal. Ball in from Pearson. Harris. Colli, the ball's just a bit far away from the recently substituted player. Hassani Sinclair is well offside. Clever defending there from Kay. Pearson leaves it a bit short for Kay. Smith dropping deep, trying to create something for Bayswater. Keogh doesn't quite get anything. Both players contest well. Here's Pearson. Harris into Mirko, who shepherds well. Again, and it's another pass from Harris to Colli that was a bit shorter, a bit out of the reach of the recently substituted midfielder, and the body language here just turning from what was hopeful before to a bit of despondency, and I think Chris Coyne will be very disappointed with the way this one's ended.
Well, yeah, it's the fourth goal that's really sucked the life out of them. There's still a couple of minutes left, plus a good chunk of stoppage time, so there's still plenty of time, but I think tired legs and then also the fact that Cockburn can just sit back and keep what they have. But Mirko going to try and put a dent in this.
Mirko keeps it in well. The flag is up for a what was outside, according to the linesman. From our angle, it was a bit of a close call.
I think some of the fans sarcastically saying it was definitely whole ball over the line. It certainly didn't look like it to us, but yeah, we're up here. He's got a better view than us.
He certainly does. And Lazaro, once again, looking to slow things down for Cockburn. Doles with a long throw through to Pratt. He did call it. Spence just puts that one high in the air. Tristow is under it. Interesting header. And Robinson brings it down, and perhaps that wasn't the best decision. Doles there with a bit of class, and the fans down at Cockburn appreciate that one. Ball wide for Santich. A rare foray forward in these last 10 minutes for Cockburn. And Santich is in no rush to put a ball in. He's got Pratt for support, and they're looking to wind the clock down here at Dalmatic Park. Pearson escapes with the ball. Tristow will get there first and put that one into touch.
Yeah, just a real lack of cohesion and composure now for Bayswater when they do get on the ball. I'd say this one is as good as in the books. But stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. But as of right now, it's looking like Cockburn will go level on points with Bayswater. 4 minutes of extra time is the rumoured figure going down in the referee's book. And Pratt tussling. He wins the ball well. He's only got Sinclair to aim at. Gets away from Pearson. Doesn't quite get away from Keogh. Pratt again proving a bit of a handful. Here's Trent Kay. Harris on the ball once again. Into McManus. It's a ball around the corner. Mirko a willing runner, but once again, Cockburn come across and defend well.
There's one right in front of you.
Whistles from a few of the home fans. I think they're a bit premature as we've got a bit of extra time to play here.
Yeah, Cockburn not in any rush to take this. I'd be surprised if there's not a card shown soon for if he doesn't get this ball into play.
We've seen Doles' long throw, and there's another one to boot. And I think he's going to have a few more in extra time here down at Cockburn. Walter Sinclair. Lazaro is one of the furthest players forward, the left back, despite trying to protect a lead. Here's Tristau. He's pressured well by Keogh. Sinclair twisting, turning. Tristau a 1-2 with Lazaro, but they can't quite get the ball back. And again, that's more time for Cockburn to wind down.
Yeah, but I'd say that'll just about do it here. There's going to be only a couple of minutes left of that 4 minutes of extra time, and most of it's been spent with the balls in the hand of Doles on the sideline.
Doles and Lazaro combining there. Harris trying to play out with Pearson. Trent's going to get this one right up the pitch. The Bayswater captain, Maralunda, jumps high. Tristau, ball around the corner. Here's Pratt. Trying to escape his marker, somehow keeps the ball at his feet. He had a pull of his jersey, according to the Cockburn coaching staff.
I don't know about a pull of the jersey. It was more like a Ronda Rousey armbar, Louis. But if you don't go down, you don't tend to get those decisions.
Giordano Colli into Mirko, tries to play around the corner. It's a clever touch, and guess who's tracking back? It's the hat-trick hero, Daniel Robinson. Colli turning a ball around the corner. Here's McManus. Tristau gets that ball away. Harris tries to bring it down and doesn't quite get it. Sinclair pressing extremely well. He's got a goal for his efforts today. And he's just about spent. Ryan Pearson putting the ball wide for Sardelic. Keogh just waiting on that ball there. Ball into Maralunda. Can't quite bring it down. He's back on the ball now. And a Cockburn throw. And we're just about done here down at Dalmantic Park. It'll be a fantastic win for Cockburn. Said it throughout the afternoon. They will go level on points with Bayswater, just below them due to goal difference, but a great result for the Cockerels. Santic still working, still stretching. Trent Kay on the ball for Bayswater. Ball into Keogh. Back to Sardelic. Pearson. Harris once again, wide to Mirko. And that's it down at Dalmantic Park. Cockburn have taken the victory here, defeating Bayswater 4-2. It was an absolutely magnificent game for the neutral. Sean Fry, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, as the sun sets down here and on this match, it's we can look back on an absolute belter, Louis. Two teams that probably not living up to the standards and the aspirations they had at the start of the season, but on today's showing, both of them could be a lot higher on the table. It was fantastic. It was free-flowing. There was good defending, good attacking. It was exciting. Just a couple of real sucker punch counter-attacking goals that killed it off for Cockburn, and it'll do it, 4-2. What more can you say? Great game of football.
Great game of football. Daniel Robertson opened the scoring. Then I believe it was Jack Allen who scored the equaliser for Bayswater, and it was just all action from then. Daniel Robertson ending the game with a hat-trick with what